In a world with entirely too many shows about cars, this is another pointless automotive podcast.
How are you, Chadwick?
Uh, Pretty good. I don't know if I feel as good as that stretch made you feel, but I'm here,
Yeah,
man. I'm here.
yeah,
How you
it
how you
jumped.
doing?
I'm good. It's another day in the podcast mines,
Mm,
and what's been bouncing
mm.
around my podcast mind has been I had a little bit of a I had a little bit of a personal revelation. Let me
Oh,
explain. You got some time? Is this a good time to chat?
yeah. Let's do it.
Okay.
I think it's a topic we can both celebrate and
Yeah.
engage in, and
Which
maybe help you
is
out.
so I had this little revelation. So I
Mm.
I have, as do you, a used Lexus CT200H as a daily. It is an
Hmm.
incredibly competent daily driver.
It's a great car.
Um,
Great car.
yes, it is very good at a lot of things, but one thing it is not
Mm.
very good at is being a thrilling and exciting thing to drive.
Ouch.
Um, doesn't mean it's a bad machine, doesn't mean it's bad at what its assignment is, which is to get me from point A to point B in relative comfort and care,
Hmm.
safely, reliably, and economically.
Right.
Does all of those things a plum. But I had the Chevy Sprint Turbo out
Hmm.
today. And I got in that. I'm like, oh, this is a fun little shit kicker, right? Driving it around. So I had this little personal revelation of like, man, is life too short to have the competent, boring, reliable, unfun daily? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Mm.
But it got me thinking, what if I bought another car? But like maybe a daily. Like what if I had a more fun daily driver, which I can
Ah.
get away with doing? And so I just wanted to pose, and maybe you have the same daily driver, although yours is nicer than mine. You have the same daily driver. Maybe
Mhm.
you feel differently. I don't know. But what if we each got a new replacement fun daily?
The one car solution. Okay, I pick up what
It
you're
doesn't
throwing
have to be
down.
a one car solution.
No,
It
but I
just
get what you're
has,
saying. Like
yeah.
combining your kind of fun car with your daily, right? Like kind of fits
We're
this
just having a
mold.
daily that's,
Fun.
yeah, it's got some fun
So
to it.
a couple things about the CTC since you started
Mm-hmm.
off there. I'm on my second one. I
Yeah,
love these cars. Like, and the thing is, like, sure, it's not very engaging. The handling is way better than it should be. The car
fair.
looks way better than it should be. Lexus should make more hatchbacks because that thing's pretty damn good looking. I think it's a very attractive car. The interior, way nicer than it should be. Uh, Fuel economy, way nicer than it should be. Maintenance costs, way
Mm-hmm.
lower than they should be. All the
Mm-hmm.
good stuff that you want in a daily. I have a soft spot in my heart for these cars because they are kind of
Sure.
weird, right? It's a weird car. It's effectively a Prius, but it's Lexusified,
Mm-hmm.
uh, as I like to say. But it's just, good Lord, dude. It just has never done me wrong. They're just good cars. The value is there because they can be had at a very good price for
Mm-hmm.
what you're getting. Um, I don't know, man. I just can't. I hear you though. They're ungodly slow. It's a, again, Prius
Yeah,
powered.
hybrid
Yeah,
CVT. It's a third gen Prius,
sure, 100%.
so it's an excellent daily driver. It completes the assignment very well. It gets high marks on its report card, but it's boring.
It's yeah, I guess it's boring.
And is life too short for a boring daily? I don't know. What like
I guess.
what would you
Mm.
even just play along? Feel free to just play
Uh-huh.
along, right? And I don't want to say budget is no object because it is an object, right? You're not going to go do anything crazy. But
That's fair.
that in mind, like, do you get something brand new? Do you get something a little bit used? Like, there's some options in both of this stuff. Like, what in your mind is something? You know what popped into my mind? Here, I'll
Hmm.
kick us off. Um, and I saw one friend of the pod, Mr. Rich Chen, has one, as I found out, because he has one of everything.
Yeah, he does.
Um, he's got an LC 500, blue
Okay.
over black.
Those are cool.
Very cool. Not not something I would traditionally have, right? Like a GT touring luxury car, but golly, that would be a very cool daily.
Mm.
Um, I don't. Part of me thought though, just and the hybrid ones are those worth $0 and nobody wants them? Like, can you get?
Ooh.
Are they cheap? I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen one for sale, but I think they're not expensive.
Hmm. Yeah, what are they going for? You have any idea? Ballpark? You didn't do a
I've
little
never even seen
research
a
on the
hybrid one.
spot?
No, let me see.
I literally have
I'll see 500H.
no
And
baseline for
but
that
here's the
one.
thing though, like I feel like you lose that car's party piece, which is the fantastic V8, and you
Mm.
lose like 100 horsepower. But like, what do you get? Like maybe 30 miles a gallon, and yeah, there's none on
Uh,
marketplace. Let's see if they've sold any on the old cars and bids. Mm, 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 mm. This is great. Moment of silence
We're
for the
checking
listener.
checking the interwebs
They
right
have
now.
sold. It looks like they've sold 0 LC500Hs.
Hmm.
What have they sold LC500s? This one went for 52.50.
Okay.
That's, I mean, it's more money than I want to spend, but this money. Oh, they have sold an LC500H. I got to put the space between the LC and 500 and did 45.
You know what? I spoke wrongly because I do so in another life, I
Mm,
worked at a transportation company that
sure.
kind of like catered to the finer tech companies out there. And there was
Yes.
one that operates in Menlo Park that
Okay.
ordered a fleet of these to be their
Oh,
executive cruise around vehicles.
interesting.
And at the time, they were a buck 25
Mhm.
MSRP, I believe is what we paid. And I did sit in the back with fully massage, fully reclining, full infotainment for the backseat passengers.
In the back?
Yes.
And the LC, not the LS.
Sorry, LS. Yes.
LS.
Apologies. The LS, but they're still pretty hard to come by. The LS was, it wasn't as, there was like you could get the naturally aspirated one, but the hybrids they didn't make a shit
Hmm.
ton of, and they were super pricey,
Yeah.
super nice. Yeah, good point. I would opt for that if I was going to be a backseat princess. But the LC version, yeah, I'm curious who picks that one, right? Like,
Yeah, because you go from, you buy the car because it looks really good, it's built really well,
mhm.
and it's got this screaming V8, to looking really good, built really well, has a CVT,
And probably
and
like 800 pounds at least more battery weight and all that
yeah,
kind of
and it's
stuff, right?
heavier and you lose a
Hmm.
bunch of power. So like, but if you're like as a daily, do I care? Probably, right? The assignment is a fun daily. So
True.
maybe I just want the LC 500 and live with whatever 17 miles a gallon or whatever it gets.
You need to
But
drop
the
hybrid out of
concept
your
of
equation.
but the concept of the 40, like this hybrid one went for 45. And
I
it looks
mean,
good. It's black
that's
with a red and white interior, and it's got
boy, that seems
57,000
higher.
miles.
That seems higher than I thought.
Well, I think they were more expensive than the regular ones. The hybrids were, and
I
so
don't
it was
think they were as much
probably
as the LS though. I think the LC was cheaper than the LS hybrid.
maybe, maybe, yeah. But yeah, I think I don't know. An LC would be rad. I think those would be really cool.
Dude, you're big gunning it, dude.
I don't know. Well, I'm starting big. I'm starting big and working my way back.
I
What
like it.
have you had anything thought like, oh, that'd be cool to have as a daily?
So, dude, I'm in a weird spot. It depends too, right? Use
Hmm.
case. If you have a horrible grindy commute and like stop and go
Hmm.
traffic, right? You're gonna want something like a CT kind of because it doesn't matter what you have. Because if you have a manual, it's gonna suck butt to just sit in
Sure.
shit grinding traffic. For the most part,
Hmm.
even some modern manuals are okay, but still not as good. Uh, and it depends also, like, if are you going through like inclement weather? All these kind of
Hmm.
things play into it, right? But I literally just had a conversation the other day. Someone was like, "You drive all these fucking weird cars, right? Like, and like, why do you drive mostly like Lexus and Toyota products for your dailies?" And I'm like, "Because I need to get places reliably." And like, so I think reliability, and I think we're probably going to get to it, right? Like, because it
Hmm.
has to be you have a
Yeah.
timeline.
Yeah.
Most responsible adults, we have to be. So I have to get to work every day, and
Right.
I'm in a situation right now where my wife has a company car, so we literally commute in the company car to work. We both work within like 5 minutes of each other.
Hell yeah.
So it's the best case scenario. We don't put any mileage, but I still have my CT, which I still like will take for like short runaround stuff because it
Sure.
does not use gas and it's cheap to
Mhm.
run. And then we have the XC90 Inscription, which is really fucking nice. We
Yeah.
just took to Disney and we'll take everywhere. And it's like an absolutely brilliant family vehicle. And they fit use cases. So it's the
Right.
use case for whatever the vehicle is. And we don't put mileage on either. But
Mhm.
like for fun, like neither one of those is like really fun. The XC is like absolutely brilliant. Like
Yeah.
you get everywhere and you feel rested because Volvo's seats are still
That's
like
how my LS was.
yeah, industry leading. Yeah, the LS actually fits that bill too. And there's so many modern features I love, like 360 camera, ventilated seats, all that fun stuff. Heads up display when I'm feeling extra kinky. But
Ooh.
as far as like something more enthusiast, and you probably want a little bit of that little analog built into it because that's the kind of stuff we
Mhm.
like. But reliability, though, we do want to come back to that because I think that is an
Yeah.
important. We're talking daily duty. You gotta look at reliability, man.
Mhm.
Which is actually pretty challenging because reliability almost always equates price tag. It's like it's very
Yeah.
hard to avoid reliability and not pay that premium. Is what I
Yeah,
found.
and we like to we like to play in with 80s and 90s cars. It's really hard to have like a good, fun, reliable daily that's an 80s or 90s car. Like
Super
at this
hard.
point,
Yeah.
right? Like we have kids, we got to get them around, and
Mhm.
so that
Agreed.
ties into that reliability factor. And honestly, there's a lot of idiots driving really big things really fast here in
Yeah.
Northern California.
Sure. Yep.
And so like the concept of like dailying the Sprint Turbo and getting murdered in a parking lot at 7 miles an hour seems not good. So
Right.
all of that leads to like it's funny, like I'm to the point kind of in my life where I think I want to spend almost no money on my not daily transportation
Mhm.
and have like the $3,500 or less Focus SVT as the fun thing.
Yep.
And then have my expensive thing be the daily.
Right.
So, maybe an LC 500 is a bit of a spend, but it's still going to be something modern, something reliable, but something fun. And it's harder to find that thing nowadays, I think.
Yeah,
that
I
fits
agree.
the bill and something
Yep.
more modern. But
Safety,
what's gotten?
you did say
Go ahead.
safety too. We shouldn't
Yeah.
like let that point slide because, like you said, you're going to put your family in there. You're going to put your kid in there. Safety is a big thing. That's part of why we went to Volvo. You can't get around that. So what you're saying is the perfect daily for you would be my V50.
No, because what will happen is I'll hit a speed bump and some hacked part of the wiring harness will arc onto the chassis.
This guy's
and
such a
deploy
beggar
all the
chooser.
airbags at once, and I will get a Guile-esque sonic boom right to the face in a parking lot, and it will murder me without the collision.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. But like, what is interesting? You know what would be a fun daily? Because here's the thing, like for me in my CT, I'm 95% at 90% by myself.
Mm-hmm.
The other 9% it'll be me and my son in the car. And anytime we go anywhere as a family with 2 adults and 1 child in the car, we take my wife's Highlander. And so
Right.
I can get away with something that's like, I could get away with a 2-seater. I don't think I'd want a proper 2-seater, but you know what's cheap and fun and fast isn't the right term, but fun. Early FRSs.
Right. Yep.
Those are cheap now. They're
affordable. I don't think they're like cheap yet though. Like good ones.
I've seen decent ones for maybe with some miles, 120, 130,000 miles, under 10.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and that's a pretty modern, pretty reliable, pretty safe, dailyable thing with a manual transmission. And certainly this assignment does not require a manual transmission. In fact, in a lot of cases, it probably is not the best thing. But
would you
that
do it
could
over?
be on a budget?
Would you
get a slightly newer one?
Yeah.
But,
would you do it over a 370Z? Which kind of checks a lot of the things you're talking about boxes.
Maybe. I don't know how well. Sorry, as I unwedgie myself here. You're welcome, viewer. Don't forget, we've got we're on YouTube. You can see how the wedgie is picked. But the
Huh?
I don't
370s. These
know.
are nice cars.
They are. I don't know how well they 8-year-old, right? Like my son is 8, so he's like on the like. Are those does this the side airbag and front airbag turn off? Like I don't know enough on those. FRS, like I could be like crank that driver's seat all the way forward and he can, or passenger seat all the way forward and he can he's not big. He might hate it, but I don't know. Maybe but something like an LC is big enough of a back seat I can do daily. But yeah, if I want to go a coupe but way cheaper than an LC, the BRZ or FRS, the early ones are cheap. A new one is what, 35? Like,
Well, we also have to think like use case, right? Like what are you doing daily, man? You haul quite a bit of gear, so you do need some storage space, right?
yeah, it like
Not a lot
if
for
it can
for the most
store
part.
like 2 golf bags or something, I can
Sure.
make that work, right? I've taken the S2000 to photo shoots and it's been okay. So
I mean, you're kind of like tiptoeing around the fact that the S2000 is the better FRS, but which you already
Fair.
have, right? Let's
Fair.
let's be honest.
And there
let's
is
even be
overlap
frank.
there.
That's
And
a stretch.
so,
Let's be frank.
yeah. And so maybe that's not the answer here. Maybe something like you know what I actually saw the other day? And I'm shocked that I haven't seen more of. I actually saw a new Integra Type S.
Dude, I love them. I love
They're cool.
Yes, they are. They are very cool.
I don't see them, which is a shame, which means they're going to kill them off in like a year and a half.
I've seen a few of them.
Bring it back.
Yeah, I've seen a few. I don't think they sold a metric shit ton of them. I think that's the reason. It's like the new Z. It's like the Nissan Z. They're out there. You just don't see them as much. I don't think they sold a lot, but boy, yeah, those are great cars. And it's a 4-door.
That would be a killer daily. And they're what, like low 50s, which
perfect.
Is again more money than want to spend on a car. But at that, like,
it's a lot of car.
If I pick, it's a lot of car. It's better than a GLB 35 for 20% more.
Right.
But yeah, like I don't know. That could be a rad. That would be a very rad daily. That would be cool.
Super. Yeah. And I always said the Type R, even the Civic Type R is a great daily. Very, very modern, very safe.
They're good. I'd feel like I need to like the current one, thankfully, is less like boy racery.
You would get the second gen. You wouldn't get the you'd get the old style. The old style's way too
the shredder helmet looking thing.
Too much going on. Would I still fuck around with one? Absolutely, dude. They're fantastic cars. If you've ever driven one, they are a like way dynamically entertaining. We'll put most of your old shitbox sports cars to shame. They're good, dude. And forget about it's wrong wheel drive. Nope. The second you get in one of those Civic Type Rs, they just rip, dude. The turbo's fine. It's still plenty of drama. They're great cars. The interiors are really nice too, even in those older ones.
What the other part is then what if I save like 15 grand and go Elantra N?
Good car as well.
Yeah.
More space.
They're 35.
About the same space wise. Yeah.
Uglier.
I love that blue. You got to get that baby blue.
Yes,
though.
the blue. The color is great.
It's not
is fairly ugly
compared to the first Civic Type R. I think it's a toss up. I think the second gen Type Rs look a lot better. But yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag, right? Like because you got way too busy, but the end's kind of, I don't know. I like that end a lot, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. No, I do too. I think
Veloster
cool.
end would be kind of cool too, because you don't.
What
I'm saying?
What do those go for now,
dude? They got to be 27, 28. They're pretty affordable. I'd say 27 for a good mileage one.
Here's one, a 22 with 2,200 miles, bid to 28 on Cars and Bids. Here's one that sold for 35,000 miles. So they're out there.
But the one that didn't sell went for what? It got up to what? Did you say?
28. Yeah.
How good was my guess at 27?
Yeah, that was in 2022 though. They've probably held their value because it's not like there's like a replacement.
And they discontinued them. Yeah. So
yeah.
I bet you could score one. I bet you can be 25 to 30, get one of those with good mileage.
Oh yeah, that would be.
I think
really
that's I think that's a cooler car than the Elantra for sure.
Yeah, I would say the one thing about the Veloster N
got suicide doors, baby.
It's got suicide doors. Do I worry about putting a human being or two in that back seat? That's like an inch and a half off the rear bumper. I don't know. I don't generally buy my cars worrying about, the off chance that something happens and it
Mhm.
gets rear-ended or I rear end somebody. I don't, it's not usually how I do my car shopping. But like if a used Elantra N is roughly close to the same money, is it as cool? No. Is it more practical? Probably. Yeah, it's got more room.
Maybe
Th-
hatchback though. Hatchback is always a pro for me for throwing gear in there, large things.
yeah, I do think though, sneaky bonus on the Elantra N is me, Mr. Photographer Man. I have gear with me and I don't usually leave shit in the car, but sometimes you don't have a better choice and you got to leave shit in the car for a little bit.
Sure.
Having a lockable trunk that, in case of the Elantra, has a fucking chassis brace for the pass through.
Right. Yep.
So if shit is locked in your trunk, it is locked in your trunk. It ain't coming out. You
I
can't
just
break a piece of glass and pull it. You can't pull the seat down and try and rip shit out because you can't.
I like how we're talking
Added
about that.
security.
When do we have any of the Kia boys listening tonight? I mean, you could be stolen with a USB, but I mean,
No, not on these. Not on these.
no, not on the
That's
older
no. It's
ones.
only on the more the basic bitch one that didn't
Fair
have the
enough.
transponder. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Um, but yeah, Kia
I like
boys.
that Veloster N. I always thought that
They
thing
are
was.
very.
I
They
thought
are the
that
more
thing was
cool
cool. Yeah,
option. They're very like those are cars where 25 years from now, if you've got a clean Veloster N,
that's exactly it.
that's a special thing.
Yep.
Yeah. What have you been thinking about beyond that?
I try not to.
Anything?
Like I said, I'm not. I'm lucky enough to not really have a commute anymore at this point in my life. But
Right.
to go back to when I had a monster commute, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go around basically the Bay Area. All my clients were scattered about. I had a Fiesta ST, which I bought. That was the second owner,
Mm-hmm.
but it was practically brand new when I bought it. I bought it right from the first owner with like like 15K on it. So 2014. This was quite a ways back.
Mm-hmm.
That car was perfect as a daily because yeah, it was a 6-speed manual, which some people complain about, but for the most part, it's very modern. It had hill roll control. It had a
Right.
first gear creep mode. So if you're in stop and go, you can kind of creep. I
Mm-hmm.
got 32 miles per gallon average, which
Mm-hmm.
is good for a car with 200 horsepower. That thing
Sure.
was properly quick, handling of the gods, dude. That thing handled better than it should. I very modern inside. It had Ford Sync, which we're not talking about Apple CarPlay. This is a long time ago,
By
but it did.
Microsoft.
I could listen to my phone. I could listen to podcasts. I could do all that. The Recaros were fucking epic. I don't care what anyone says. You get the Recaros in that vehicle. It had ambient lighting. I don't know. It had all kinds of good stuff. But I loved that car. And I could park it anywhere in the city, right? It was good brakes, good speed, good handling.
And
Just
what's a nice one of those go for 10 right now?
they're kind of weird, dude. Like a low mileage one, you're gonna pay a little more than that. But yeah, you can get an
Right.
absolute beater for like 8, 7, 8. Uh, they're better than the Focus. The Focus you can get a lot cheaper. The Focus
Interesting.
STs for a long time
Yeah.
were below
But
that.
those
And
are
they still
good.
are. The Focus ST is still good. The Fiesta was dynamically better. I think they looked better too.
Sure.
I didn't like the headlight and taillight treatments on the Focus. I thought the Fiesta was, and we never got the small hot hatches, and we did, and they fucking killed it, and
Mhm.
then they got rid of it. So,
Boy.
speaking of a daily, like if I had to go back to
Mhm.
like a commute where I needed some spicy driving, I think a Fiesta ST is a pretty fucking an
Yeah.
awesome candidate.
Well, the other thing too for me is, and yes, I agree. I have that on my list. Same with the Focus ST. My neighbor
Hmm.
bought one about, I don't know, 10 months ago as his daily. And he got it for like not a lot. I think he paid 8 for it.
Hmm.
It's white, sharp looking car. And they're great. But or the RS if you want to go big boy
I was going to
edition.
say 30K, you can get a Focus RS, and those things are just absolute monsters, dude.
Yeah.
That's a very serious machine.
Yeah.
But though very utility hatchback design, the Focus you
Mhm.
to get some more space. Even the Fiesta had plenty of. I never complained about the size of that. It was mostly me just
Right.
driving around the Bay Area. So
Yeah, and that's kind of like what my gig is. Like
Mhm.
I'm not going, here's my daily commute from here to there and it's like a fixed point at a fixed time and back and forth. It's like I'm driving all over the place and to boot is I'm driving to meet clients to to go grab their car and go take it somewhere. So not a major consideration, but it's not a not consideration in if I'm rolling up in a place to go do a photo shoot with your special car, me showing up in a CT 200H with the clear coat falling off of it
Fair enough.
is different than if I show up in something that's got some enthusiast chops. Right?
This is the old realtor conundrum, right? Like when
Sort of.
realtors had to bring their clients. I remember buying houses back in the day, and your realtor would shovel you in the back of their Mercedes or BMW SUV and bring you house to house. Because if you piled in the back of a fucking, I don't know,
Festiva?
Bronco 2,
Yes.
Festiva,
Well, for us, yeah, we're bad marks for this, but yeah.
No, but the realtor, you'd question their ability to sell and purchase houses for you. So I think it's kind of like that. That makes sense, man. That's an interesting angle for your use case for sure.
It is. One thing I haven't, and I'm like going to look real quick, totally wild aside and would be insane for this mission. What are early R35 GTRs going?
They're still pricey as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
They're so pricey.
Can you get, let's see, I'm just going to look real quick. Like, can you get one for under 50? Or is that not a thing?
That would be questionable. I bet you could do it if you had to. Dude, you'd be out so much cash if you roasted that trans. You'd be fucking fold.
Here's a 13. And that's a 99.
Yeah, no, don't stay away. Get out of there. How about an M car? Something like that out of the line? Like
an M2?
E36.
I would probably do it.
You want more modern.
I would
what
want
an E46, E46 M3.
No.
Good cars.
I would do maybe like
mine.
an E90. Is it the E91 is the sedan or the E90 is the sedan?
E90 is the sedan. I think you could do well with one of those, and they're not that pricey.
Yeah, I can get like a good one for what, 30?
Yeah, still. Yeah, like maybe 35 now with lower mileage.
Yeah, I would want a sedan.
Agreed.
I would want a manual. I don't think we ever got you couldn't get the comp in a sedan, I don't think. And those are modern.
Which one did
can be reliable.
I reviewed a comp. It was a coupe. It's a coupe.
They can be reliable, but they can also be like unreliable.
The fix isn't so bad. Yeah, the fix. Yeah, they are thirsty. I mean, but 8,000 Redline V8s tend to be just that. How about an RS4? You can get an RS4 for like 25, 26. God, fantastic car. Fantastic.
Scary though.
They're not bad. They don't have any of the issues that the other Audi V8s have.
I mean, they don't have the timing chain issue, but I think you got to do
the biggest one, dude. If we're gonna point something,
you got to do like the walnut blasting.
That's every direct injection vehicle.
Rope
from that period.
blasting. I mean, there's a bunch of.
Dude, they're great. You ever drive one of those bad boys? They're beautiful.
I've not driven RS4.
They're so fun. I think they're so driven. Like at below 7/10, they're absolute superheroes. But you push them, you have to start doing a lot of suspension work to kind of balance out the chassis above that. But for what you're doing, you would
for a spicy daily that like I can just like have fun getting on an on ramp.
Yeah, go anywhere. Plenty of space. Safe enough. Like you wouldn't feel bad throwing your kid in the back of that one.
No, certainly safe enough.
Timeless, special. I think they're special. Those haven't appreciated.
Oh, they are.
Either.
They are special. That could work. What about an ISF?
Automatic only, but I love them. I love them a lot. But the prices are all over the place for those bad boys. If you want, if you've ever driven them, I've driven an 08 and I've driven a 12.
I've never driven one.
The 08s ride like shit, and apparently that was the biggest fix they did with the facelift kind of redone ones. I think that was 2011 where they redid the suspension because it rode like it was on cut springs. Like if you ride an 08, it's like boom, boom. Like especially like if you're talking like any bridge like spans, you crash. You literally crash over everything like that. God. So you can adjust that with the aftermarket, right? But the big they refine that. I drove a 2012 and it was fucking ironed out completely. So that's something to keep in mind. But they are cool as fuck. I love
that's them. What the F stands for, actually.
Yeah, it does. I see fuck.
Yeah. Golly. But then I'm like, those are pretty thirsty too.
High revving V8s, my friend.
I know. They're very, very cool, very alluring. But then I think if I just sat down and like, man, if I really want to like be getting high teens at best everywhere I go, I
Have
don't
you thought
know.
about a Lexus CT200H?
Perhaps, yeah, 6-speed swap one.
God, I still love mine so much. Mhm.
Does anyone are is the RCF just completely and utterly forgotten about by
I think
everybody?
it's cool as shit, dude. I think it's so cool looking when I see one. Even the
That,
RC 350 F Sports look cool. Hot
yeah, I
take.
don't know if that would be fun and interesting enough. Certainly more than the CT, but
Sure.
like,
Well, your fuel economy definitely gets a few,
right?
probably a magnitude of 10 miles per gallon better.
Yeah, boy, I don't know. What do you want, sir?
I don't know. If I had to commute right now, it's really hard because I am a sucker for. I'm like the most frugal person to a fault.
Sure.
So like the CT's like such a good. It would be hard to argue my way out of that. And I thought about
Mhm.
that too because there was the possibility I was going to go back and start having a monster commute if I had to go back to the Valley region from where I
Sure.
live. So I'd
Hmm.
I'd obviously have to focus on something on grindy fuel economy. A new Prius came to mind. I kind of like them.
Yeah.
But that's definitely more utility versus fun, of course, by
Hmm.
like an 80 to 20% ratio.
Do they make
But
like coilover kits and like,
they're fast finally. They're pretty quick
yeah.
cars, 200 horsepower. You know what? As far as dailies though, I try to make up a rationale so I can get a 3000 GT VR4. I'm just
Oof.
craving one so hard lately. I saw one the other day and I'm like, I need this. I need one of these because I had that Stealth Twin Turbo, which got me almost there. But I really have
Right.
always loved those cars. And I know they're flawed, Frank. I know they're not real sports cars. They're more Grand Tours. But God, they're very arresting. Like when you see
Hmm.
one, it's just unbelievably wide and low. And it's just I don't know. I love it. But anyway, if I had to pick,
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
Yeah.
I'd like
What you
to
going
get.
on?
I think an RS4 would be an awesome daily.
Yeah.
I'd go there because I think they're cool enough. They're weird. They'll never make another one like that high revving naturally aspirated V8 all wheel drive
Hmm.
manual. There's very few cars that tick every one of those boxes.
Right.
God, or a V70R Volvo, like an
Yeah.
actual sorted
Yeah.
one, would be very cool too as a daily. Kind of, and there's your safety through the roof.
Sure.
They're not perfect, but
No.
that being said, they're fucking unbelievably cool.
Yeah. I go find a flash green over Atacama leather.
Yeah, I mean, at this
Um,
point, I'll take whatever because the markup
sure.
on those fucking flash green cars is insane. I
Yeah.
would,
Real
as
premium.
long as you get a spaceball shifter, I'm in, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if an auto would be fun enough
No,
in
I
that car
I
specifically.
don't know if I could do it. Yeah, the manual gearbox is so good. That
Yeah.
M66.
That's right. Gosh. Yeah.
They ain't cheap
Good.
either. Finding a manual V70 with low mileage is not going to be cheap,
Yeah.
regardless of cool color
And
scheme.
the other side of the argument is maybe you want the soul sucking, boring daily because then it just makes you want to go use your other shit, right?
Mhm.
Like makes me want to go drive a $3,500 Focus SVT to row gears and do all of that, right?
Right.
And versus having if I have let's say an Integra Type S and it's the best handling, fastest
Makes your sports cars look like
car
fucking
and makes
slop.
everything else
Yeah.
just be like, well, this is a piece of
Hmm.
shit. Like, why
Yep.
do I own this? Um, which to be fair, might actually be the healthiest thing I can do, right? Because it might get me to shed some of this stuff. So maybe that's it. Maybe I want it to be. Maybe I get the Elantra N, but I get the DCT. So that
Oh.
way, I know it's tough when there's
It's price point too, right? Like you got to justify how much you're going to blow in this car. Like, are you okay buying a car that's going to depreciate? Like, you got to come to terms with that, or are you looking for something where you're going to be like, it's kind of already depreciated and you're not going to lose too much? You know what I'm saying? Because we're fickle. We
yeah,
are fickle men,
we are.
Frank. We will. You'll move out of love with this car so quickly. Alimony will be paid if you picked a car that hasn't depreciated yet. So you got to
True.
really, that all plays into it. I think that's something you got to really look at. Like, are you looking long term? Are you looking
I
getting to
think
something sassy?
I think the way that my mind can justify eating some depreciation is if it
Mhm.
has a warranty.
Okay, so
I think buying something that's out of warranty and will continue to depreciate significantly is a bad deal.
Mhm.
If I buy a couple year old whatever that still has some ways to go on the depreciation scale, but it's already eaten the big, it's already
Yes.
taken the big load,
Mhm.
you can't refuse them. There's no loads refused.
Yeah,
And so
no.
it's already taken the big load after that
Mhm.
18-month, 2-year depreciation hit,
Right.
but it still has whatever 5 years left on the warranty or whatever.
Mhm.
And okay, it's going to lose another 10 grand over the next 5 years. But if that comes with a warranty, then like I think I can stomach it.
Sure.
So yeah, it depends.
Hmm.
It depends. I don't.
But there's not too much that's new that's as interesting, right? Like we kind of hinted on that. You hit up BMW in the past, and I agree. Nothing from BMW interests me at all, modern BMW. So you kind
Yeah,
of go back a
M2
little bit
maybe,
for
but like
something interesting. It's hard to like what with a warranty now is interesting. I can't maybe the Acura, the Integra Type S, I think is there.
yeah, that's intriguing. I mean
Hmm.
that and the Elantra, I don't. You know, GTI
Hmm.
doesn't do anything for me. I know it's a very good thing.
I need to own one because I think everyone they
Doesn't
say everyone has to own one at one point,
sure.
right?
And I can. I'd probably own like a Mark V or something. I wouldn't go
Hmm.
get a Mark 7 or Mark 8. I've driven a Mark 7. I've driven a Mark 6. I've driven a Mark 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I've driven a Mark 6 GLI.
Mm-hmm.
They're fine.
They're fine. Yeah.
But like I don't know. They don't tickle me. You know what actually?
Fair.
GR Corolla.
Hmm.
That's a
Hmm.
thing.
Didn't they announce they're making the 4-cylinder now, though?
Well, they're all 4 cylinders, but you mean auto?
No, there were 3-cylinders, my friend.
Oh, you're right. I'm wrong.
They're making
Very
them a
wrong.
4-cylinder.
Interesting. Is
Yeah.
it because they kept popping those 3 cylinders, or
That might be the reason to hold out a little bit.
I
Yeah,
like 3 cylinder noises though.
it's cool, but if it's going to be like more reliable and more robust, I think I'll take the four banger option. But really, would you on it? Ooh, it's a tough one.
They're out there.
I want to like the GR Corolla as much as I like a Celica All Track, but I just don't.
Mhm.
I just don't, my friend.
No, for sure. I don't know. I'd like to drive one. I've heard very good things.
Hmm.
I do. They are more intriguing to me than certainly than a GTR. On paper, they are than an Elantra, but like maybe not.
What about a Focus RS again? Why would you not? I mean, that's 350 horsepower, all-wheel drive,
Yeah.
more space. Well, yeah, it's probably comparable. Maybe a little more space than the GR Corolla, but um, yeah, you can get
Yeah.
that for like
I would want
30.
to drive them back to back. Yeah.
Yeah.
30.
And that comes in
And
that
what
beautiful, I
versus
forget the blue, but that whatever that blue is. God
yeah,
damn,
that's a
it's
cool
beautiful.
color. And that the metallic gray is cool too.
Yeah, like that wet
It's like a
concrete kind
metallic
of gray.
battleship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are
Yeah,
cool.
that is nice. And it still has the blue like inlays in the interior. Yeah.
Mhm.
They're
Yeah,
cool cars, man.
they are.
30K. That or an RS4 though.
30K.
Ooh.
Very different things.
I kind of. Yeah.
Because GR Corolla,
Well,
and then I go back like, oof, what about a Shelby GT350, like a 17 or 18?
without the failing engine issues or whatever.
No,
whatever they're
you just keep your fingers crossed is all you do. Those are so good to drive. Have you driven
Yeah,
one of those yet?
I have. I
They're
drove. So the
magnificent.
problem is I drove the R before the regular. So it was like I'm like this thing's too fucking much for a daily. Like this is way too rough on the road. It's like
Yeah, it's a little too low. It's the big lip on the front. You're worried about scraping
every time
especially
coming
got
in
the
and out
carbon
of
wheels.
like a parking lot ingress and egress, you had to always diagonal. Like
Yeah.
and it just got old quick.
Yeah,
But
and the regular one is you still have the good motor, and there's still very, 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 very
yeah, the auditory cues are all there.
Yeah.
Ooh, are you Mustang guy? You're not Mustang guy.
That's
Frank,
the problem.
You're
I'm
not
not
Mustang guy.
I'm not Mustang guy. I'm not Mustang guy. I'm not Camaro
I
guy.
think, man, this is tough for you. But what would I do? What would I do in this case? I would look at a Focus RS. I really like them. RS4s, I really want to own one. I just really want to own one of those cars. I know it's not right. I know it's not fiscally
You know what
advisable.
you need to do? You need to keep your eyes out for an RS4 cab. Get the cab. Call yourself a cab. The rarest modern Audi. Let's go.
Yeah, it's boy.
You can have a convertible in your life.
I still want an 04, 05 STI too. I'm weird. I'm a weird guy. I
Oh,
still want a clean one of those. I think when I see them, I'm just like,
yeah.
that fucking still looks great. That's still a
They
poster
do look great. They do
poster
look
car for me.
iconic.
Yep.
I think
Some Hawkeye
God.
bullshit coming up, guys. Hold
Well,
on.
yes. But what's your take on the STI Limited?
I want the wing. If I'm gonna go into this, dude, I want big wang.
Big, I know Wangs and things, but like,
I don't
I think I would want the limited, and not just because it's limited, but like, I don't know,
the lack
it
of a
feels more
wing.
adult, and maybe I
Fuck
don't
that.
want
You don't
adult.
buy an STI. You get a Legacy Spec B for that.
I would fuck up a
A
Legacy
leg.
Spec B.
Good luck finding one. That's the
Yeah,
problem. They only made a few hundred each year, dude.
and that's
Can you
probably
believe?
about as old of a car as I want to get. It's like
See,
that era, like mid 2000s.
so I had an '07. I think '07 was the best year because you had diamond
Yeah.
gray metallic, you had the blue STI interior, you had the 6-speed, the Torsen diff. Dude, I had that
Hmm.
car in my world where I throw cars out of bed like relative every 15
Oh,
minutes.
dare you?
I kept that
Yeah.
car for 6.5 years, modified it, tracked it,
Hmm.
dailied it. I love probably one of my top 10 cars I've ever owned.
Yeah.
Was that and I stage two'd it, parts from Japan. That
Did you
Spec B was
overnight them?
special. No, they took fucking 6 months because there was like a blizzard and the ship got stuck in the harbor. It was a whole thing. I had STI pinks for the Japanese Spec B
Ooh.
wagon, the STI version. I imported all that. That car on track was hanging with my buddies. He had an E90 M3 at the time, and we were like
Oh,
doing
interesting.
similar track like lap times. That's how good
The
it was. So good, dude.
What
So
about
good.
the oft forgotten like 2010-ish era
Mm.
Legacy GT? Like
They
the
were,
gen after.
yeah, they didn't have the handling chops. They were boaty, a little bigger. They
They were a
looked
little
dull. They
bigger.
looked a little dull comparatively.
I suppose.
I
I
thought
don't
mine
know.
looked great. I think that generation of Legacy, and weren't they like designed by some guy that designed Alfa Romeos? I can't remember the guy's name. They're pretty sharp looking. They still look good today. Oh, that was a
Yeah, no, they
great. That
do.
was a
Those were
great
good.
car.
I
Good
almost
luck.
bought one once upon a time and it
Yes,
didn't come to fruition.
like a sorted Spec B is gonna run like 20K plus today. It's just the way it
Oof,
is.
are they that pricey?
Yeah, dude, it's the way it is.
Because they were,
They never got cheap.
I mean, new they were what, like 31?
37.
They were that high.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine was, I had the sticker and everything. It was like, I was the second owner. So it was like 36 and change on
Damn.
my '07. Yeah. They were not cheap cars. And they only made a few hundred per year, which is absolutely wild.
They did. And I remember the first year had
That's
that
not the one
cool
to
like
have.
brick. I like the interior though. I like
yeah,
that
but
brick
you-
leather, but
you
you
don't
you only
trade-
get a 5-speed. You don't get the 6-speed.
And you don't get like, yeah, you don't get, yeah. That's a big difference. That 6-speed is like
It is.
bulletproof.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy.
Mhm.
All right. Things to consider. Um, you know what? You know what I should just do?
Hmm.
I should just have a roughly $3,500 Focus SVT.
You know
That's
what?
my new fun daily.
At that point, if you're going to keep it as a daily, get it repainted. No one would question you showing up in a beautiful, fresh painted orange.
Competition orange.
I'm just saying. At that point,
SVT.
you up it to maybe what 70?
Well, you talk about depreciation.
7,000, 7,500. It's at the bottom of the depreciation curve, dude.
It is, but like I would put $4,000 into the car to have it be worth $4,000.
Yeah, but you're gonna run that thing for a while, and your mileage isn't that high, and eventually the value will start to come up on those SVTs. I think
Maybe
it was
I don't-
Ford's really first hot hatch here. You know,
Yeah.
Science.
Not counting the Shogun, but we just won't.
Well, yeah, right. Or the Escort GT, which I like to say. Ford's real first hot hatch.
There we go.
I don't know. Yeah, it kind of checks a lot of the boxes you need.
That's it. We've come full circle. I'm just sticking with the Focus SVT.
My $2,000 piece of shit.
My new daily.
I mean, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool car.
Yeah, it unfortunately checks a lot of the boxes. Yeah, boy. Yeah, after all of this, right? I buy something on a as a challenge.
But honestly,
Mobile.
if you were asking me like, and I needed to get a professional-ish car, but it had some fun to it, and I needed to have somewhat of a commute, like not a grindy commute, but like similar to yours. What do I look at? And I honestly think I start looking at like I think E90 M3s is there. I don't
Yeah.
think that's a cool car to show up to shoot something, but that's a little too like I think I go with the RS4, which is like the analog to that, but more interesting to me. I think the RS4 is a more interesting car just because I think the V8, the high revving V8 all-wheel drive combo is so fucking rare.
You do,
Where else do you dig it up, dude?
you know what I've never driven?
Hmm.
I've never driven an Evo 10. I know it's not an Evo 9, but it's maybe a little bit more modern.
The 4B11, they handle unbelievably well out of the box. But for
Yeah.
me, it wasn't a 4G63. It just didn't do the
You're right. Yeah.
It didn't
No,
do
I
it for
get
me.
that.
And the final edition is the worst one. Don't ever get that. You don't get the Recaros. It has that little chrome fucking side thing. It's real bad. It's real bad. Um, I don't know. Evo 10s are cool. Do not get the MR because that transmission is horrible.
Right. Yeah.
So
No.
you're stuck with a 5-speed, which is so weird since the STI had 6 from
Right.
04 onward.
I don't
Evo 9
know. That's
MR.
probably
Evo
not.
9 MR. Good night. That's the one. If you're not
Yeah,
going to
but
modify it, Frank,
boy,
Evo 9 MR.
It's yes, but I don't know. Part of me is just like I'm also like a fucking 41-year-old man. It's like not.
Bro, you just told everyone that you drive a Chevy Sprint Turbo.
Yes, that's not a boy's car. That's a man's car.
Sure, yeah.
No, it's same with like an STI. Like I think an 04 STI is a very, very, very cool thing. It's a little boy racery, and I don't know.
You gotta
which is
embrace
okay.
that shit, dude.
I don't know. I guess I got to be in the mood.
You gotta stop being scared of the imagery that you think you're
This is
creating by
true.
driving
I
this car.
am-
Just drive. Do you drive? The car is good. The car is fucking good. That's all you got to tell yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because at the end of the day, like the dynamics are gonna bake into like your choice. I think you're happy in a STI. I think an STI would make me happy. I would love to grab an '05 World Rally Blue basic bitch fucking STI stock.
Yeah, stock.
Gold
Stock
wheels,
for sure.
gold BBSs. Let's go. Send it all day, every day.
Just be the anti-hybrid.
You can get those for 20, 25.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just
Or
getting
an Evo
really hard
9.
to find clean ones, though. Really hard.
Yeah.
Evo 9 MR would be a wonderful car. That's the I guess that would be the analog to the STI, right? You get the 6-speed all-wheel drive rally car. You can de-wing it if you get too fucking offended. They look cool with a lip.
I get snow.
They look
I go
cool
full
with a lip
snowflake.
wing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You just.
I'm just saying. That's something to think about.
It is.
Or you get the RS4, which is aggressive and mature.
Because it would like part of me thinks it's like, what would be more cool to be dropped off at school in a Lexus CT with no clear coat on it, or an Evo 9 MR.
There you go.
Either one with a skeleton, Halloween skeleton in the passenger seat, because that's
As
what I'm
one
currently
should.
doing.
Yep.
Or an RS4 or
Ooh.
whatever. I mean, these are things that I have to consider.
Yeah, the RS4 gets me, man.
I think
get
I
it
am
because
slowly
it's like,
convincing myself that I need a more fun daily. And it doesn't have to be a barn burner. It doesn't have to be.
and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
Yeah. Just so maybe not an Evo. But
They're not bad. The MRs are really nice, dude. The 6-speed like really helps. It modernizes that drivetrain. It's so weird that the Evo 10 had a 5-speed. I mean, there's lots of things. There's lots of forecasting and foreshadowing. I'm sorry, of Mitsubishi's like downfall. Right,
choices
there, right?
made.
Yeah. Fun daily, man. But dude, I still love my. I don't know what to say. I get in it. It still makes me smile. It's such a cool little car. I really love that thing. You can't beat it.
No, it's and that's the other thing too, is I'm just about to turn 190K on mine.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And it has taken basically zero care and feeding.
That's all it does.
Um, I've done oil changes and headlight bulbs. That's it.
Mhm.
And so I kind of just want to ride it out. It's just like, I'm just going to keep whipping this horse until it's got nothing left in it.
Yeah, and like there's some folks that will say, "Oh, there's the fear of the hybrid battery." Plenty of people get to that 300K mark without hybrid
Yeah.
battery issues with these things. It's
For
just
sure.
that's not the head gasket thing's the big one. Once
Right.
you
Yeah.
remedy that between 120 and 180, you're going to experience some coolant in your fucking cylinders. But once you take care of that, easy
Yeah.
street. You got to do the water pump. You probably should knock that water pump up.
I
That's the
have. It's in a
other-
box. It's in a box over
nice.
here. I should.
So that's the
yeah,
only
I have
other
it.
thing. But you don't worry about anything with these cars. They're just stout little
I
fuckers.
know. So maybe Mitsubishi product's not what I should be buying. SCI is pretty reliable. I don't know, but they're all fucked with.
If you leave it stock.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And does it have to be that exciting? What about just like a new, like the current WRX?
Nope.
I don't
Nothing
know.
exciting. I don't like how they look. I don't like the.
I've always thought they looked okay.
Okay, but
Okay
they have like a
plus.
6,000
plus.
red line. Wow, dude, that's exciting. What is this?
Yeah.
A diesel?
Yeah. What is this? A Chrysler Crossfire?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I would love? I want the peanut gallery's input here. Dear listener, should I ride my hybrid chariot into the sunset until Phoenix burns out? Doesn't
Much
burn
like
hot,
it's
but
clear,
burns.
much like it's clear coat.
Facts. Or should I live a little, get a fun daily? And if so, like what have we not talked about? What's the obvious choice here? I would like it to be probably no older than 20 years old.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's discuss. I'd love to get some input here. So probably not a DB7 anyways. Any last thoughts on this adventure here?
I don't know. Just some considerations, I guess, is you're not in a grindy commute, so you got that benefit.
Correct.
You're going to be driving different distances at random times, so take that into account. Not too much gear, but a good amount of gear. It's going to be able to hold a decent amount of gear for your photo shoots and everything.
Yep.
Needs to be reliable enough because you need to get to where you're going.
No shows are frowned upon.
Absolutely. And safe enough because these are all considerations, guys, when you're thinking about a car for Frank. You got to throw your kid in the back or in the car every once in a while. So you want it to be somewhat safe, right? Some modicum of safety, modern safety.
You know what we mentioned last week and did not talk? The aforementioned prior generation Accord 2.0 turbo manual.
Kind of a good fit.
That could. It's going to be a little soft, but that's okay.
Yeah, but not bad. The Sport 2.0 is not. It's not a wallowing pig at all.
Pretty big, but like okay.
255 horsepower. Just saying. It's
in
pretty
the
fucking quick. Pretty quick.
Yeah. Interesting.
Wow. Good point. And those, I don't know what those go for though. I think they
probably
are a little spendy.
Probably high 20s, I would bet.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yep, 20, low 30s.
Because when did they stop that in like 22?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's
like 18 to 22.
The take rate on manuals was smaller, so there's gonna be few to choose from. They're nice. The interiors are really nice too. That's a good car. That's a good call. That's a great call. And they don't depreciate too hard either, so you wouldn't be looking at that.
Back to the image thing. Part of me is like, oh, I'm just fucking driving an Accord. I want to be different.
That's a sneaky car. That's a sneaky car.
It might be too sneaky.
Too sneaky.
I don't know.
What's the price point? What is our price point? You're not giving us any financial. You've mentioned cars that cost $5,000. You mentioned cars that cost $40,000.
It depends. It greatly depends. Well, like 60 with the LC.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Probably 60 like that is probably too rich for my blood.
Okay.
But if it could be a proper modern daily, like 5 years old or younger for like low 20s or mid 20s.
Okay. So focus on that.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Dude, I mean, it could be.
Yeah. There's a lot of cars that I'm going to start looking for you.
That.
Are you how serious? Like, where are you on the heat index?
I'm posing, God, tepid plus.
Okay.
Like I'm not chomping at the bit, but it's like got out, drove a little bit today in something that's fun but not thrilling in a freaking 70 horsepower Chevy Sprint Turbo. But it really just made me realize, like, oh yeah, this daily is not a driving pleasure. It's far from a penalty box. It's not that
absolutely
at all.
Not. No.
But it's just it is not a fun car. And I feel like I probably with the life that I live, dicking with cars all day and really valuing a decent drive. Perhaps I shouldn't be putting 20 to 25,000 miles a year on to just into just empty miles.
Right. Yeah.
Especially if I don't have a grindy commute. I've got a commute that's like sometimes off hours or middle of the day or like around the early evening.
It's a huge difference maker.
Going to interesting places and driving sometimes interesting roads. Like, so I mean, I'm starting down this road, and maybe it's a fool's errand, but
I don't think so, man. I think at the end of this conversation, sure, we're talking about Frank getting any daily at this point, but the bigger picture is like, how do we weigh the fun versus the grown up, the discipline, the responsible choice, right? This is what we're talking about, and how do you marry those two into something that makes sense for your use case? I think that's the bigger picture, and we all face that. Every one of us, like, we're all horrible people, and we're all
monsters.
We're absolutely degenerates, but we need to pick what car works for us at the end of the day, right? We all got here. We didn't just fall, unless we inherited like an old Crown Vic or something, but we just didn't. That's another option for you. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? We have to make these decisions in life. Even for our fun cars, we make the same decisions to an extent, but it brings up an interesting point, right? How do we marry the fun with what you need to get the job done? And I think that's what you need to do. And it's an interesting question we all ask, but yeah, you got a good use case, man. Like, you can actually afford, like, by freedom of commute and all that kind of stuff, you can afford something with a little more on the fun side of the spectrum, if you will.
Yeah.
Which makes the exercise completely more fun, right?
Yes. Speaking of on the spectrum, wait, no, it's not quite.
Ouch.
Not quite what I'm looking to do.
Oh, you got my results?
Exactly. Wow. Yeah.
You said rectum, correct?
Yeah. No, strangely enough, they use a whole different R word that I'm just not going to pronounce.
It's coming back.
We're bringing it back, guys. No, yeah, never go full.
Yeah, that word.
The thing we like to do on this podcast.
Oh, that's
the print ad quiz game. I get to quiz Chadwick this week.
Woo.
I'm going to pull this thing up. Not pull it out, but I'm going to pull it up.
And the ad too.
Yeah, exactly. It struggles to get up, so I got to pull it up. You tell the people at home what the hell we're about to embark on.
You spoke about it like it's a disconnected part of your body. It's like not even associated. It struggles.
It's on the spectrum.
It's hungry. Okay, guys, this is
a problem.
I gotta block this imagery real quick. Frank is referencing our automotive print ad quiz game show. It's a little fun thing we've been doing since day numero uno. It's involves, this time Frank will be reading a magazine ad about a vehicle from the 80s, 90s, mid 2000s. He's gonna absolutely never. I think you've messed up like once. I've done it like 3 times. Omit anything that gives the car away in the ad. So a lot of blanks will come your way. I have 3 guesses to figure out what the hell he's yammering on about. Every time I fail, he'll give me a hint or not, laugh in my face, step on my head, push me under the water again. It's all in good fun at the end of the day. I have 10 minutes to figure out what car he's talking about. Guys, let's do this thing. Frank, roll that beautiful bean footage.
Oh, boy, I've got a fun one today. This is a 1-page ad. The bottom half, we've got a picture of the car in question, and it looks like there's a shockingly Caucasian family around the car. They're putting stuff in the back. They've got like
Village of the Damned Caucasian, like just bleach hair, pale
kind
skin.
of.
Okay.
It's a very suburban
Shockingly Caucasian
theme.
should be my band name.
That would actually be quite good. And so there's like a smiling mom and dad. And then there's the three kids. One of them is holding a football. The other one's in like full football gear on a knee, which I think if you're wearing pads and full football gear, we've decided as a nation, you're not allowed to take a knee. Unless you're Tebow, then you can do it.
Sure.
There's a cheerleader, blonde. She's got a ponytail. It's got a big C on her sweater. She ghosts, the fighting C's. I don't know if it's the fighting C words. And then it looks like there's like a school thing in the background, and underneath in huge block letters with an exclamation mark, it just says lots. Like it's LOTS. That's what it says.
Wow.
And then above that, at the bottom of the script, the top half is the script. And it says, the very roomy family blank, the sedan for the clan. And they did spell it with a C. Yeah, they did spell it with a C.
How white were they again?
Exactly. Yeah. Shockingly, or not so shockingly, now that with that revelation. We then have the verbiage here.
Okay.
Small on the outside, big on the inside. Small enough to give you great mileage, yet big enough for you and your family of space invaders. The front wheel drive blank is blank's roomiest sedan. Enough room for a can't sit still family of 5. There's multi-adjustable seats and wall-to-wall carpeting. Even a full range of power options, like door locks and windows. Now, for the flip side of blank's personality, the outside. The long, lean lines and crisp, compact shape help give blank great mileage. Features like variable assistant power, rack and pinion steering, and a sturdy, wide stance, like Senator, what was his name? Larry Craig. Remember him? He had a wide stance in that airport bathroom. A wide stance give blank confident road holding ability. You can even get blank's breakthrough electronically controlled 4-speed automatic transmission for even better fuel economy or muscle at the flick of a switch. The transmission can operate in any one of 3 modes: power, economy, and normal. Here's a really fun part. Blank also comes with a powerful turbocharged diesel engine. So pack up the family and drive from here to eternity. Because with the turbo diesel's impressive 52 estimated highway, 38 EPA mile per gallon, with a big old asterisk, who needs fill-ups? Inside room, outside styling, and one other thing. Lots of blank value all around. Buckle up. It's a good feeling. All right. What automobile are we discussing here for the clan?
God damn. This seems like a very early ad. Just the references here to having locks and ways to open the windows.
Power locks.
How dare you?
A full range of power options, and then names locks and windows.
Locks and windows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy. So was there a displacement? There wasn't, right? It was just a turbo
No
diesel.
displacement.
Okay.
Interesting. Comes with a powerful turbocharged diesel. Yeah.
And we're talking a sedan. It was in the tagline, right? So sedan for the clan. So
sedan for the clan.
Perhaps built
rack and pinion steering
below the Mason-Dixon line, based on the clan reference.
4-speed.
4-speed electronic automatic, right? Was the
electronically controlled 4-speed automatic transmission.
Really? No, nothing else for tech specs. We got a sedan that has a diesel. Automatic.
Diesel sedan.
And it didn't.
And I will give you this. It doesn't mention this. It is an optional diesel. The diesel was not the only engine.
It said that it does have, and usually when it says that, it doesn't say comes equipped with.
Right.
So the wording was interesting.
Blank also comes with a powerful turbocharged diesel engine.
Yep. So okay,
but
cool. So
that
there
is
is a regular.
actually an option. There is
There
a
is a
gasoline.
petrol. Yeah.
Yes.
You didn't say kilometers, so this is a car that's sold in the U.S.
Well, I mean the clan.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
There's Canadian clan members, I'm sure.
Sure. Yeah. They're called
Um,
Mounties.
Wait, what? I've been lied to.
Yeah.
What?
Oh man, I just imagine that song. Like if Rage Against the Machine was a Canadian band, and instead of like some of those that work force, it'd be like some of those that ride horses are the same that
Burn crosses. Yep, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Let's see. Diesel option. So I'm feeling this is like early to mid 80s. I kind of let's say mid 80s to be safe. I feel like we're in the mid 80s. Diesel, interesting. There were a lot of companies trying diesel at the time. I think diesel was having like a little renaissance, if you will. It wasn't really good. You know, there's a lot of bad diesel at this time.
Sure. Till it ran away.
Till it ran the fuck away. I immediately jumped to Volkswagen, but it does not read like a Volkswagen ad, right? It just doesn't. And it doesn't sound like a Mercedes ad. I mean, it could be, but it said sedan. I don't know. Whenever I think of Mercedes and diesel, I think wagon. It's just the way my brain is programmed. It's usually right too. What could this be, Frank? This is tricky. Not a lot of tech specs, like you said. Automatic transmission, cool. Car also had a petrol engine. A lot of that during that time period as well. Feels like domestic, based on clan.
The sedan for the clan.
I mean, that just works. You got to have a decal on it if you own one of these.
Oh yeah.
Are these even on the road anymore? That's the real question. What are we talking about? What kind of diesel are we talking about?
Turbo diesel.
Turbo diesel. Jesus, man. There's really not too much to go off here that leads me in one direction or the other. They didn't really emphasize anything that would give it away. It wasn't like a specific branding. It wasn't like Swedish where it talked about safety ad nauseum. Diesel. God, I'd love to say Volkswagen, but man, that is too on the chin for clan talk with a German car. We can't be doing. We can't be walking into that one, dude. That's too much.
It's definitely like I said. It's like the National Socialist
right
pick. Yeah.
Oh man. This is going to be a domestic ship box, a bigger ship box. Is this like I have no idea what I should start with. I don't know why. I want to go Chrysler product, but I have no fucking clue what I would say. Maybe, I don't know. Fuck. Family car. Let's just do something stupid like a can we do like a they didn't make it. Did they make a diesel Lincoln Continental? I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be that nice. I think it's more like an everyman's car, from what I understood. They got the kids dressed up in their sporting attire.
Inside room, outside styling, and one other thing. Lots of blank value all around. And I don't think they're talking about like clan values. I think they're just like saying like you get
that's a hard-edged fucking morals all around.
Yeah.
Maybe like a Plymouth. What the fuck though?
No, they canceled that in the 70s. The Plymouth what the fuck?
They shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I have no idea, dude. This is tricky. Maybe it's like a could be like a Chevy Caprice diesel. I don't know. Let's go with that. Chevy Caprice diesel. I don't think that's true, but let's see if we got the ball rolling in some direction.
Okay. It is not the Chevrolet Caprice diesel. I will tell you. You said that it's a domestic shipbox. It is not a domestic shipbox.
Wow.
It is not from a domestic manufacturer.
This could not be German. There is no way this is German. So not from the U.S. Turbo diesel. Boy, it was written like a domestic ad, wasn't it?
Sedan. Front wheel drive.
Turbo diesel as an option.
Blank's, yes. It is Blank's roomiest sedan, enough for can't sit family of 5. Multiple adjustable seats.
Boy, it doesn't sound Japanese though either. God, it doesn't. There's no mention of German engineering in here.
Not at all.
No Jetronic anything, K-tronic. No.
Yeah, no like
The things we're
waxing
used to,
poetic
yeah.
about some dead guy that founded the company or whatever.
Right. Could it be Japanese?
Oh,
What
racing
Japanese
heritage.
diesel would we even be going on about? This is a tough one, my man. I don't think this is. It could be Japanese. Could be.
Could
I don't-
be.
What had diesel? Turbo diesel. Man, this is sedan, front wheel drive. Could also be a regular one. The most roomy sedan for this company, apparently, right? I believe that was said.
That's what they say.
Yet, right to this point.
Blank's roomiest sedan. Enough room for can't sit still family of 5. Wall to wall carpeting.
God, it sounds like a domestic ad. It's just it.
You got just under 5 minutes, by the way.
Yeah, let's go. Let's just kick it German for a little while. I kind of feel like if we're going for size, this is going to be like fuck. I always forget what they had before and I could be wrong. It could not. It could also be not Volkswagen. I always want to say like a Passat diesel, but I think they had something before the Passat, which I messed up last time. But I want to say
that was the Quantum that we did before.
Yes, I'm going to go with. Let's just do it. Let's go Passat diesel Volkswagen.
You got a year?
So this isn't as old because the Passat came out in the early 90s. I think the Passat
like
came out.
91, 92.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's do that. Let's do an early 90s Passat. It would be a TDI at that point.
This is not an early 90s Passat. This is not from a European manufacturer.
Okay.
It's not domestic. It's not European.
Yeah. I can't even think of a Korean turbo diesel at this time. So I think, are we Japanese? Are we Japanese, guys? What could the old Camry diesel? Why didn't we ever have a Camry diesel? That's a good question. This guy. I don't know. So I'm assuming it's Japanese. Okay, Frank, this doesn't help. Man. God, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something.
It is going to be something. This I can tell you.
I don't know why I want to say Toyota. I can.
Okay. Lots of blank value all around. Buckle up. It's a good feeling.
I mean, that's everybody. That was the slogan. And so that puts us in the 80s, still mid 80s. God, did they make a Cressida diesel? Fuck it, I'm never going to get it. Toyota Cressida diesel, 1985 or 84.
You got the year right. We'll give you that.
Okay.
You got the make right.
Is it so if it isn't
did not get the model right.
Not a Cressida.
It is not a 1984 Toyota Cressida.
Corona?
The sedan for the clan, and you said it, but you didn't guess it. This is the 1984 Toyota Camry diesel. They did make a Toyota Camry diesel in the first generation Toyota Camry. You can get with a 1.8 liter in 84 and 85. You can get with a 1.8 liter diesel. And then 87, I think 87 only, they did a 2-liter diesel.
Was the Camry really their biggest sedan, though?
The ad claims it's their roomiest sedan. The Cressida certainly is bigger in 84. Is the interior roomier?
They had wagons at that point that had more interior.
The Cressida, you can get the Cressida wagon.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. The ad says that it is their roomiest sedan. It didn't say roomiest wagon. and roomy. Maybe there's more interior volume by like a half a cubic foot or something.
Yeah, I
I don't
should have
know.
banked on that being science.
They also claim that like you can just like casually have a squirmy family of 5 in a first gen Camry.
Yeah,
You
those
can.
are
It would suck ass.
but those are pretty
It
small.
would, yeah,
Especially
they're
with
not
someone
that
with
big.
football gear on. No one's getting in there.
Right. And I believe these had like 70 horsepower or something, these turbo diesels.
Right? If.
You can get them with a manual.
Okay.
That's the one. You find the turbo diesel first generation Camry manual.
There isn't one of those alive today. I feel like I've never seen those.
They are they're functionally extinct.
Gotta be. Yeah.
If you had to try and replicate them, you would have a genetic bottleneck.
That advertisement was so fucking domestic.
It really does.
It really.
We were kind of hung up on all the clan stuff.
I mean, but honestly, though, it didn't sound
burning
like
cross in the background.
A lot of Japanese stuff from that time. Really, I mean, there's value proposition, sure, but domestics did that a lot too because they were fighting back. Man, yeah. Usually they're more tech focused. The Japanese ads for that.
I'm going to find you here. I'm going to send you so you can kind of see what we're playing with. You can see. I want you to be able to see the clan, the violently white family here. It's
interesting.
Actually, you have to scroll down a little bit. It's like,
I put too much value in the size of it too. Yeah, I think was my downfall.
Well, it's tricky because like it tells you like, oh, this thing's so roomy. It's our roomiest offering, and wow, and it's like a first gen Camry is not a today. That would be like a subcompact.
God, yeah, no, it's interesting.
See how white they are?
They're incredible. They are basically, Village of the Damned was the way to describe that,
dude. Yes. Speaking of Village of the Damned.
Can I just say, though, that the Cressida wagon, I guess you could say sedan. But right.
Even a Cressida sedan is a larger thing.
That's what I
maybe
thought.
It's larger. Maybe the interior volume isn't as big because you had a bigger trunk. And you had the big inline 6 up front, and so
I think it's bigger. I think it's still bigger interior. Like if you park a Cressida,
that's what Toyota claims.
You park that because that ad was bullshit. If you park a Cressida next to a Camry from that period, bullshit.
Yes, the very roomy family Camry, the sedan for the clan.
That was a tough one. Good one, my friend.
It was, but the diesel, like the Camry diesel. I know about the Camry diesel because it's incredible that it exists and I want one. And so I've been casually looking for one for a long time.
The problem is it didn't compute to have because I was thinking, well, if it's it's not going to be a Camry because Camrys haven't they're for so long. Camrys and Accords at this time, when the Accord first came out, they weren't large cars. Like now they're proper larger
they're full
vehicles,
size,
right? But back then they were quite small. So when the largest sedan, this fucking ad, especially the fact that the Cressida existed at that time period and was a larger vehicle. Whatever, bro.
Yeah, even a Corona feels.
You know what though? You did say
bigger.
front wheel drive. You did say front wheel drive, didn't you? Yep, that's
front drive diesel.
I did not catch that one.
Yeah,
was there a Cressida diesel? There had to be.
Not in this market. We never got one. You can get the Maxima diesel.
Right. Yep, that's right.
I think those early Maxima diesels.
God damn it, man! Well, we got both back-to-back L's on this fucking quiz.
Yeah,
we're getting worse. True. Or the cars are getting weirder.
Yeah, we're really scraping the barrel. Like there's first gen Camry diesel. Let's go.
Yeah, dude.
That said, if any listeners out there have a first gen 5-speed Camry diesel,
I would be shocked. I'd love to hear about it.
Come, let's chat.
Yeah.
Slide into our DMs. Are people still saying that? Is that a thing?
I like sliding into my BMs.
Oh, I don't know.
Think about it.
Slide. I tend to prefer them sliding out, but
I'm an innie.
Yeah. Hey, you're into what you into. Have you been into doing anything on your vehicle? I've been into nothing. I was going to ask.
I was going to be a gentleman and extend the initiative to you and say, yeah, what have you been doing, man? Nothing.
Basically nothing. As I said, I drove the Sprint Turbo. That's nice. Which was fired right up. Drive still. The more I drive that car, God, this little thing, like it's
You put a very little bit of money in that, that can be a properly good little car. It doesn't
It's so
take
good.
much. It doesn't take
Here's the
much
thing. I think part of why it's so lively and so just like eager to like toss around.
because it can't stop.
Well, no, that I mean, yes, but no. Is because it's wearing 155 tires. They're so skinny. They're like bicycle tires.
Mhm.
So the steering is so even though it's manual steering, but it's still weighted perfectly and
Mhm.
light, and it's so eager to just like because those tires are so skinny, it was like modify it and put like good tires on it so it can corner, but then you'll lose some of that skinny tiny tire steering feel.
Mm.
I don't know. I that car should be modded, but it's a more slippery slope than I want to
I would
start down.
I would just modestly mod that car. I think
I think it would be hard to modestly mod.
I would just honestly sticky tires, sway bar,
Mm-hmm.
send it. Brakes could like first thing probably brakes. Yeah.
Yeah, like Swift GTI brakes.
Yeah, stopping's good.
So I've been told. Yeah, but even then you're like, yeah,
I mean, where you're at and how
155
cool
tires.
that car is. Boy,
I know. I don't.
it's so cool.
It's small. It's easy to hang on to, but like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I think I just want to take it to Car Week,
Mhm.
have it be my put around Car Week car because it's like the anti Car Week car,
Sure.
and it's the
Are
absolute.
you playing
opposite.
a drum right now?
Oh no, I'm just fiddling.
Oh.
I just because it's the opposite of showing up to Car Week and like, oh, but check out my Koenigsegg guys, and I've got
Right.
this like ghost fucking thing squadron T-shirt and I just whatever. Look at my spray tan. It's like the opposite of that vibe,
It's
which
fair.
is
Yeah.
Nobody shows up to Motor Lux with an Escort in an Escort or in a Sprint Turbo or something that's like an adorable shitbox.
That's
and
fair.
that car is the definition of adorable shitbox. And so
Aww.
I think I think it will be a lot of fun to drive that car around there and just putt around. The positive affirmation that I will just get from that car.
Right.
Just like, yeah,
It's a cool car. Yeah.
it's a cool car for like $0. And so,
Yeah,
it'll
that's
fit
exactly.
right in. How about you? Have you been more productive than me?
So a little bit. So I've got an equally outstanding would stand out in Car Week Geo Tracker that I've been working on. So I'm started the under hood treatment. So obviously time about water pump, always do the big stuff first because if something critically fails, I don't have to do anything else to the truck. I'll just send it down into a river.
Send it.
But I've got valve cover done, spark plugs, wires, and very approachable jobs on an engine like this. Everything's laid out in front of you. Super simple layout on this vehicle. Tons of accessibility. New air filter. The air filter was disturbingly dirty. Just original being towed behind a motorhome. They catch even more dirt and dust from dirt roads and all that kind of stuff. So you get a lot of that dust in there. But nope, spark plugs, all original, all looked healthy. But it never hurts to put fresh ones in. I go always NGKs. Like I always go, don't cheap out on your spark plugs. You keep them in there long enough. And everything else is good. The only thing that was leaking in that truck is the valve cover. The valve cover is like a cork job. It's just what they made for those motors. And it was fucking water falling. So like I still have to get under there and do like the underneath cleaning I always love to do because people underestimate valve covers. Like, it's seeping a little bit. No, after a while, they become literal waterfalls. And that little seep over the years, especially just every time you drive it, and they leak everywhere. So you always think it's like, oh man, I got an oil pan. Oh man, I got a rear main. Start with your valve cover. Like trace that up. Use the law of gravity. Go back to the top of your motor and look where it's coming from. And no doubt, around the entire like valve cover area, just complete soaked. So good to get that out of the way. And that's an easy job, approachable. It's kind of interesting because you got to kind of take the TBI apart a little bit, take the intake runner for the intake there.
Yeah, you got to start disassembling the traumatic brain injury.
Oh, it's wild. TBIs are fucking crazy. They're like, we like carburetors, but we also like electric fuel injection. So let's just fucking make a monstrosity on top of the motor.
But quick
cool.
Band-Aid fuel injection.
But they work. They're not the worst thing, right? I'll take it. I'll take it over a carb on some of the vehicles, but it's cool. It's like that intermediate technology. But yeah, just dude, I love doing simple jobs, like simple maintenance on a truck like that. There's just
Mhm.
it feels so good just to go out there and replace spark plugs, put a new
Yeah.
air filter in, and the return is so good. Like you feel it, you feel the pickup and everything. And the truck, it's just such a cool truck,
Just
man.
making it
I'll
happy.
I'll get you in that thing too because it's a peach. You saw it,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
interior is just fucking gorgeous. It's like a nine, at least a 9.25, 9.5 out of 10. So,
Mhm.
cool truck. I'm
Only
almost.
only an 8.7 though from the Russian judge.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yep.
Inside, it was an inside job. But
It
yeah,
was. It
no,
always is.
more on that. And I'm pumped to get that out. And I'm not trying to diminish how cool this tracker is. I fucking love it. But I'm really pumped to get the Volvo in there. So it's like, I want to finish this job and you know how it goes.
Oh
Projects on
yes.
projects, man.
That's right.
That's been my PCP project car progress for the week.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this has been our podcast for the week. So,
Goodbye.
thank you,
Bye.
friends, for putting up with our nonsense. And yeah, if you guys have ideas about any of this, about
Mhm.
diesel, maybe I should just get a 5-speed 84 diesel Camry for my next
Might
daily.
as
I
well
don't
get two
know.
of them. There's so many kicking around.
This is true.
They
Yeah,
don't
and combined
exist.
it'll be 140 horsepower or whatever.
Ooh.
So, yeah, tell us what you think. You can do that. Just go hit us up on at or you if you happen to be viewing us on the YouTubes, congrats. And you can just comment and be like, these guys are idiots. Or, GG, get good, whatever you want to do. That's fine. Or find our pseudo abandoned Instagram page at apapodcast.com. If you want to stalk me digitally, I'm the Photographer's Garage at all the places. How about you, Chad to the Wick?
And you should do that. Frank's photos are fucking stunning.
And I know
Check
that.
him out and you can see what he's been working on too. Always a good time. Me, Auto Obscure Garage on the YouTubes for your rescues, restorations, and reviews. Tracker content coming out. And then after that, we'll have some Volvo content. So some pretty fun cars back to back there. I'm pretty pumped about that. But yeah, guys, really, it means a lot checking us out. And do check out our YouTube. Leave,
Mhm.
like Frank said, leave some awesome comments there. Please subscribe. It's
Yes,
absolutely free 99 all month long. I think we're still
it's
running that
true.
promotional deal,
Mm-hmm.
and we love it.
Hasn't changed.
We're getting some comments on there. That's super cool to see. People are
It is.
watching, and like I understand that YouTube isn't like the perfect platform for podcasts, but some folks like to watch their podcasts. It's kind of cool, so we do appreciate that. And as always, guys,
Yes.
we'll check you on the next one. Stay safe, have fun, pick a fucking daily for Frank. Stop
Yeah.
slacking. Give him
Yeah.
something.
Find me. Yeah. Have fun. Find me a new daily. Hit it raw. And yeah, we'll tune in next week.
In that order.
Exactly. Yes.
Later, guys.
Goodbye.